Hey, how's it going? So I wanted to do some different videos. This is going to be more geared towards the newer people coming into the fingerboard scene, people coming back to the fingerboard scene, or just the parent that's interested in their kid's hobby, which is fingerboarding. So we're going to start with some fingerboard fundamentals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a board and I guess actually show like all the bits and pieces. I'm gonna assume you already know what fingerboarding is, and if not, it's like skateboarding just with your fingers, fingerboarding. And if you don't know what skateboarding is, what are you doing here? How did you find this video? So just like skateboarding, you do need a board, obviously. Trucks, wheels, hardware, grip tape. From there, you can start customizing, finding a board more within your preference. This one, I haven't tried this board out, so yeah, I'm gonna try this board out. We'll start off with trucks. These are gonna be the truck pieces all broken down. So we got the hangers. These are gonna be what's called the bushings. We have pivot cups, the base plates, and the little silver pieces. Those are gonna be the washers. For the most part, you'll be using just a top washer. I used to use bottom washers as well because I like my trucks really tight. So that's just gonna come with preference. And then for like the standard kingpin trucks, you'll have 6 lock nuts, and that's what holds the truck together. And then there's also gonna be 8 screws, which is what holds the trucks to the board. So when it comes to the trucks, you can do a little bit of customizing. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is not use the stock bushings that it comes with, that these BRTs come with. I'm gonna use level up bushings. And before you say it, yes, I am replacing the orange with another set of orange, but this is my video. So these level up bushings, these are just what I prefer. There are a ton of other options when it comes to bushings, but the way the bushings go, got your kingpin, you put the barrel bushing first, then the hanger, then the top bushing, then the washer, and then the lock nut. I forgot the pivot cup. The pivot cup goes underneath right there. And this is the truck pretty much put together. It's just missing the lock nuts on here for the wheels. I'm gonna do the other one real quick. So here's both trucks, tuned just the way I like them with the level up bushings. Now we're gonna put some wheels. And this part, it's pretty obvious, you just stick the wheel on. It's going to be a little hard for me to show on camera, but there's always like one side of the wheel. Well, for the most part, there's always going to be one side of the wheel where the bearing is sitting closest. You're going to want to put that one in the axle. You don't want to put it in the other way because this axle will be sticking out like a lot. You don't want that. And then you just grab lock nut and tighten it down. You don't want to overdo it. You just kind of want to tighten it just enough to where the wheel's not rattling. This is what I mean about that rattling sound. So this one I tightened it just right. This one I did not. It can affect performance if the wheels aren't spinning like perfectly straight and they're doing this weird wobbling motion. So make sure that it is tight but not too tight. So this board right here is going to be a truck loops board. It's going to have a 6 gates graphic. When it comes to boards, there is a ton of options, from lengths, widths, shapes, concave, the kick lengths, wheelbase. There's just a whole bunch of different things out there. So I won't get too into it right now, but this is going to be a 34mm wide board, and it is going to be what's called a twin tail, which is going to be a symmetrical shape. And I do have a bunch of other unboxings on my channel where I kind of just quickly, show like the insides of what's in the pack. We're not going to focus on that one right now. So for a lot of the companies, if you look on the back, it will have some information, and it'll have the board shape, size, and then usually it'll have their Instagram, YouTube, what have you, whatever they have going on. So for this one, there's truck loops, and the owner, his name's Joao, and his Instagram is Names Too Hard For You. It'll pop up right now. And he also makes truck loops, which are going to be some bushings, but they're going to be O-rings, again, when we get into bushings. At some point we'll talk about those. And inside this pack, you do get the board, 1 sheet of grip tape, and there's 2 stickers, Truck Loops Rooster, and then this one it says hashtag Truck Loops. So even though this board did come with a sheet of grip tape, I will not be using that one because I do have my preferred grip tape, and I will be using this sheet of FBS grip tape, which happens to be a 6 gates engraved sheet. And just like grip tape, there is a ton of options out there. That's something really, really great about fingerboarding is there's always a ton of options, and there's always more stuff coming out too. So there's 2 ways to put a board together. For the longest time, what I used to do is slap the grip tape on there, poke the holes, put the trucks on there. Lately though, I have been putting on the trucks first, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So here's the top ply of the board. See these 4 holes right here? Each one of these screws is gonna go into the holes. I guess now would actually be a good time to bring up, there is a bunch of these tools that you can use as well. These little black Tech Deck tools I think are going to be the most common. And then you got this one, which is a Black River tool. I know there's a Tech Deck Pro tool. There's these little mini screwdrivers. The Saw Dude makes some like crazy fingerboard tools, and they're really interesting to look at. So I don't know, but I mean, for the most part, you'll be fine with this one. It might take you a little bit longer because this tool is tiny, but it'll get everything you need done. But I prefer this little screwdriver. First truck is put on. The way that I do it is I'll screw in the diagonals first. I don't really go like this because I don't know, it could be bad luck or something. I don't know. I just, you know, I don't risk it. So second set of trucks is put on. So far, the deck is looking amazing. Just like the lock nuts, when you're tightening down the screws, you do not want to over tighten them. Just do them to where they're snug and maybe a tiny amount further than that. If you do over tighten it, you run the risk of stripping the base plate. Yeah, don't do that. So I'm just making some final adjustments, making sure everything is tightened just right before I put on the grip tape. If you're putting your board together for the first time, it is going to feel a little weird. You're going to feel like you're breaking something. So here's the grip tape right here. This is going to be a neoprene foam tape is what it's called. It's going to be like almost like a spongy like material, but I think neoprene is just like a fancy word for some sort of plastic. I'm not 100% sure. It is the same material that my playmats are made out of, but well, the bottom part is the neoprene. This is cloth. But the grip tape, they do come in different sizes as well. And then there's like open pore, closed pore. There's the regular skate grip, which it shreds your fingers, but I guess it looks and feels like a real skateboard, or closer, but I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah, this is going to be 1mm thick grip tape. And the way that I apply the grip tape is I'll peel off about 1/4 on the top, line it up in the middle, or at least the best that I can line it up, and I'll just put the grip tape on the nose. And what I do is I press the board down to make sure that it is straight down the middle, and then from there just start peeling a little bit more back and then flattening it down, and then just go ahead and rub the top of it to make sure that there's no air bubbles, which if there is, it's not the end of the world. You can always get like a little razor blade or a screwdriver and poke them out. You'll be fine. Another step that I like to do is press down all the way around the board, so that way when you're filing it, I don't know, to me it just makes it a little bit easier. And then even when it comes to filing the grip tape, again, multiple tools. I know my friend, he likes to use scissors. He'll use the rough edge. He'll use the sharp edge and just chip at it like that. Judging from grip jobs that I've seen on Instagram and Facebook, people apparently use potatoes. But me, I like to use this little wood file that I got from ASI like 2 years ago. Point is, you can use what you got. There's even like the little inexpensive nail filers that are like $1. Those work just fine as well. But when you do grip, what you're going to want to do is hold the file, scissors, what have you, about 45 degrees, and then just file down like this all the way around the board. It should start coming off just like that. This side I still gotta do that side. And in my head, you know you've done an excellent grip job when you can peel off the shavings in one piece just like that. But here's the board all gripped up. This board is now ready to ride. The only thing left is to do some like fine tuning as far as like the tightness of the trucks go. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. So if this is going to be your first setup, it might not make that big of a difference to you, but this part, at least for me, takes me the longest trying to get the trucks just the way I like them. But I think I got it. So here's the board all set up. And in case you're curious, this is like the breakdown of the board. So I'm using FBS on top. This is a truck loops deck. It is going to be a 34mm wide twin tail. The trucks are Black River trucks. The wheels are going to be some Black River shop wheels and level up bushings. So once the board is all set up and I got the trucks where I want them, I usually spend some time and just start flipping the board around. Start getting like my initial thoughts. Because sometimes, especially when it comes to the FBS, when it's like a fresh sheet of FBS, sometimes it does take a while to break in. So you can't really judge a board until you've used it for a while. But what I like to do is a kickflip frontside board slide. Yeah. So on average, a professional fingerboard setup is going to be anywhere from about $130 to $150. It just depends which parts you use. But the thing is, you don't need one of these setups to fingerboard. You can use a tech deck, which will run you about $3 to, I think, $70 if you want to get those crazy expensive tech decks, the Pro Series. And then there's another series, which is going to be a wooden board, and those I think are like 15, maybe $20, something like that. But what I would recommend is to grab a complete from Teak Tuning. Those boards are going to be about $25, $28, just under $30 is what I'm getting at. Or if you don't want to order anything online, you can go down to your local Zumiez, because they now stock Slush Cult Grom decks, which are going to be a really good starting off point. You get metal trucks, bearing wheels, foam tape, and the board. Actually, I have a Grom. I'm going to go grab it. So here's an example of the Grom board from Slush Cult. So you get 2 sheets of grip tape and a tool. And like I said, the board is almost 100% ready to go. You do get a set of bearing wheels. To me, it's like probably one of the best ways you can start off, either this one or a teak board. You know, I showed you how to grip the board, but after that, you're ready to go. So once again, just about $30, and it doesn't get any easier than that. All you got to do is grip it and you're ready to go. And the board themselves, I do like the shape. Here's the Grom deck that I have. This one, I set it up the way that I would want to, with Black River trucks, level up bushings, and funny enough, I'm using some Black River wheels also, and FBS. The board themselves, they're good, and then from there you can upgrade, get better trucks, get better wheels, get better grip tape, but you can take your time doing that. You don't have to jump in $150 right off the bat. You can start $30, get all the different pieces, because it does add up pretty quickly. Even though I don't think replacing these wheels is a high priority, if you want to, you can, but they're going to range from like $25 to $60. The trucks are probably going to be the most expensive part of the board, but even then, you have different options. Those trucks I just didn't like the way that they felt. So that's why I swapped out to the Black River trucks. But you have trucks anywhere from like $20 to BRTs, which are going to be about $65, $70. Point being, there are a bunch of different ways you can approach getting started into this wonderful world of fingerboarding. You don't have to dive in head first because it gets expensive. Believe me, I would know. This next statement's going to be relevant to those who are just coming back into the scene, but it has changed so much. There's so many options. It is almost overwhelming, and the first recommendation you get may or may not be for you. It's best just to explore, everything around. What I would say, hopefully if you're in an area where there are other fingerboarders, you're fortunate enough to where you'll be able to see firsthand what they use. Give that a shot before you buy it if you like it, or, just kind of keep exploring from there. But if you chose hard mode and live in, I don't know, Wisconsin or something, I don't know if there's a scene up in Wisconsin, take your time. Definitely, where it is reasonable, within your budget, try some different stuff. Slowly work on those upgrades. But definitely have a budget in mind first. Can't stress that enough. Budget, budget, budget. Unless you like the taste of ramen, which is the official food of fingerboard collectors. I'm one of the members. Long story short, for those who just went straight to the end of the video for whatever reason, take your time, do your research, hear out recommendations. So yeah, if you're new here, the scene is huge. If you're coming back, the scene has gotten bigger. Like, okay, so for example, I've been fingerboarding very consistently for the last 2 years, and I've had the luxury of trying over, I would say a few hundred different companies at this point, as far as decks, wheels, trucks, grip tape, ramps, stickers. There's stickers, and a lot of it feels very different from, one company to the next. So there's tons of exploration to go through. If you hear some recommendations, definitely look on my channel. I might have done an unboxing for them. Well, not for them. I bought just about everything that I have. So I did an unboxing of their stuff. I probably still have it set up. Point is, I've tried a lot. And if you want like a quick recommendation or, thoughts on something, definitely just shoot me a message over on Instagram. I'll do my best to get back as fast as I can. Sometimes it does take me a lot longer than usual. Sometimes I open up messages in my sleep. It is what it is. So yeah, just it might take me some time. So yeah, at least as far as like your first steps into fingerboarding, getting back into the scene, that's what I got for you. I feel like that's a solid place to start. Come back next time. Next video, we'll talk about decks, because, yeah, there's a lot to say about decks. But that'll do it for now. I'll have my Instagram. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. Like I said, sometimes it does take me a while. The Instagram will be down in the description below. That'll do it for now. Take it easy. Have a good one.